All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing the recent runners technical analysis videos looking at tops and Bed Bath & Beyond. So unfortunately, I made this video, but the audio did not save. That was totally my fault. So this is not as live and fresh as my videos normally are. I've obviously drawn some horizontal support and resistance lines that I'll be kind of going over again. So my fault on the technical difficulties. Nonetheless, both charts actually do look pretty interesting. I will for sure say that, all right? So before we get into the details, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages. Again, I'll go over these horizontal support and resistance lines, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with the YouTube algorithms. Nonetheless, even if you don't, just thank you so much for watching these, all right? I do really appreciate your time. And then, hey, if you disagree with anything, throw it in the comments, all right? I'm not pretending to be this all-knowing guru dude, right? I'm just giving you my opinions, and if yours are better, I actually want to know them. You know what I mean? So two-way street here. So let's get into it. And again, tops looks very interesting. There's definitely a lot to like, all right? But before we focus on the immediate, let's just zoom out and be honest with ourselves. This stock has done nothing but trade under the 8 and the 20. All right, obviously under the 50, the 100, and the 200 too, right? But all we're doing is trading under these first two lines, okay? Couple moments above it, couple moments above it, couple moments above it, consistently under, all right? So just don't fool yourself, even though this looks so good, right? Why does it look good? Let's be honest. You know I love red, right? Good little gap right here. Obviously, as long as you didn't buy right here or right here, this is the best thing, right? Because this should easily turn into a bunch of greens, right? That said, on top of that, I'm loving this RSI, right? It's a good green over red. 30 is a relatively low number, right? This is generally when a stock wants to recover and go back up. And what I really actually like is this volume, okay? 25, 20 plus anything, that's huge, right? And we didn't need this silly green volume candle to do it that you know you're not going to match the next day, right? Pump and dump. What does look like is going to happen though is this volume actually looks like we can do it again tomorrow. Maybe even the day after we can do, maybe even, you know what I mean? I really think that this is very realistic volume that could get beat or improved on tomorrow, right? And I like that. I like that a lot. So there's definitely a few good things going. Again, I'm staying realistic right now. I think we're probably going to close around here tomorrow, around 1.9, 110. I don't know if we're going to get over that 20. I don't know if we're going to get under it. I think we'll go around it. We might make a silly little run up to here if volume does something like this, right? But realistically, I don't know if the 20 is going to get beat. I barely think the 50 is going to get beat. Again, just because what we've seen historically, right? That said, look, the reason I drew this 150, if 150 breaks, that's an even nicer string of just red with a couple nasty little greens, right? So breaking 150 might be a nice little easy ride to roughly 250, right? That's a beautiful, that's 66% right there, right? 150 to 250, making that dollar on the buck 50. Love it, right? And that might be, again, I know it sounds silly when I say things like wait for confirmation or don't trade down here, but just keep a perspective that, hey, if this 66% looks easier, what's the point of struggling down here or in between these, right? So just some things to consider. But as long as volume holds, that'll be good. If we can get close to here, that'll be good. And it will be good because we only broke one line, right? So I only need a decent confirmation for the 8. Bad things happen if we don't open over 96. We might end up closing around here at 50% of the candle, roughly at this candle right here. Or we might completely lose it and end up coming to the bottom here, right? So that's where these 3 lines come from. Looking at the weekly, look, this is not a good weekly. We're struggling with the 8 and clearly under the 20, right? And look where this 8 is. It's at 120. Where does that look like on the daily? Right here, right? 120, literally the same number, right? So this 50 is for sure going to be a difficult line, right? That's why I'm kind of leaning towards this guy right here, right? So I know this gap looks like a guaranteed fill, but yeah, that's for sure going to be a real hard line. But again, just depends on your tolerance, right? If you want to make that flip from 96 to 120, 110, there's some decent percentages there to be made for sure, right? But just keep things realistic is all I'm saying. If it breaks the 50 and gives confirmation, yeah, then we're going to start talking about these bigger numbers up here for sure, right? But yeah, definitely could be a good move, right? And again, I'm not a big fan of looking at after hours or pre-market. It's a bad way to get your hand stuck in the cookie jar. Okay. Bed Bath & Beyond. Look, it's been a while since I've talked about this stock. Why? All we've been doing is trading under the 8, right? All we've been doing is trading under the 8. Little insignificant, I'm not going to say insignificant, obviously a nice percentage, right? But just no confirmation, and we're not here for pump and dumps, right? Somebody bought up here at 7 and watched it drop all the way to 150. That's horrible, right? So yeah, good things happen when they do, but then I'm telling you, bad things happen when they don't, right? And I know that sounds silly to say, but yeah. Look, today was an interesting day, right? I actually deleted a lot of the original lines. Like I said, I made this video, had audio issues. I'm doing it again, right? But I had an alert roughly right here. I think around 160, 161. It looked like the day was going to go really nicely. Unfortunately, it ended here, but still enough to catch this on my radar, and I think worth making the video, all right? That's a super, super, super low RSI. Look at that, 0.9, not even 1, right? So it makes sense it's going to need a little recovery. I think if it could break the 8, it's a lot like the tops ship stock we just looked at, right? Maybe we'll make a nice play to the 20 right here, but yeah, I'm not sitting here, expecting us to break the 50, the 100 or the 200, right? Definitely a lot of red candles and one nice green one that really could take us to 6 if the momentum and the volume and the meme and it all lines up well. But yeah, I think this 193 might be a realistic place it stops, mainly because it's 50% this guy and 50% this guy. I think maybe it'll come around here because it's the bottom of this guy and kind of in between the two. But yeah, right now I'm not seeing much more than a swing up than a sustained up. You know what I mean? Now look, if we start breaking some lines, MACD, RSI, and volume all start looking good, I'd be real happy with it, right? And look, these are good. The last 2 greens are better than the last 2 reds. I'm happy with that. I am, right? And that kind of goes with this like recovery thing. But still a lot needs to prove to happen here, right? So let's take a look at the weekly. Just a bad weekly, nothing but under the 8 and the 20. And now it looks like we're under all-time lows because we've lost this guy right here. Hopefully we don't lose this guy, but obviously you know it, right? Once you lose this and all you've got is reds, it kind of says it wants to go down, right? But yeah, this is a decent number on the weekly. It looks like it has at least historically been a little higher in the 50s. So again, maybe it goes up a bit, but yeah, where is that? You can see the 8's at that 247. We have the line at the 246. 246 puts us right there, right? I think that 20 or 246 is probably a fair target here. So again, sorry about the audio issues, but at least you can hear the thoughts now. More videos are coming soon.